Hello and welcome back to the Icons of Sin. Me and Chris are back. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. Happy to be back. First episode of the year.
Is it? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is the
Yeah.
first episode of 2023, and we were just talking about how literally nothing happened over Christmas. So,
Yep.
that's good. This is my sixth podcast of the week, I think now. So
Wow.
I'm tired, but good fun. And I've always got time to talk about games. So
You've been very busy then this week.
yeah, movies made us do it. 4 episodes of Lyric Satiric because we do them in batches, and then that kind of sets us up for like 4 months because it's only a monthly show. And then I was a guest on Terry's podcast yesterday. I think that's it. And then today. But, there's always time to talk about games, and we've had Christmas. So there was like time to play games,
Yeah.
So do you want to go first? Pick a game.
Yeah, well, I'll start with obviously, I've still been playing Call of Duty, the new one.
Yes, Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I'm really confused by that name. I was thinking the same thing earlier. I was like, why is it called Modern Warfare 2? Shouldn't it be 3?
Didn't we have a Modern Warfare 3? We did,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how many there have been. I'm just so confused by the numbering of this series.
Yeah, it should be Modern Warfare 4.
Right. Because Modern Warfare 2 was like the most popular
PS3.
Modern Warfare, right? So
Yeah.
they just keep going back to that. Like, we'll just keep calling them Modern Warfare 2.
I don't know, because they had Modern Warfare, which was Call of Duty 4, I believe. Then they had Modern Warfare 2. Then they remade Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Now this Modern Warfare 2, which is not a remake.
Which is not a remake. It's a brand new game, but they've just called it Modern Warfare 2 anyway.
Yeah.
It's good. I love how edgelord the cover for this game is. I was looking it up just now to get a photo, and I was like, wow, they went with like full skull mask painted.
Yeah, Ghost.
It's it's full on edgelord. It's great.
Yeah. I finally finished the campaign now.
Oh, nice! So you completed the single player campaign. That's cool.
Yeah. No, I always
really
do
fun.
That. It is. It's really good. It does leaves it open for another carry on.
Yeah.
Which
it looks like they've learned their lesson, and they've kind of returned to what people really want from Call of Duty and single player. In terms of that campaign, they've really dialed it back in. It looks really good. My housemate has it, and what I've seen of it looks fantastic. So I'm excited to get back into this one. Actually,
it's really good, and the campaign was a lot of fun. Obviously, I do it on like hardened, which is like in the middle. It's not like because you got like 2 either side. Then you got like the 2 easier ones and then like 2 harder ones. I just go in the middle, and it was good. It was a bit of a challenge, especially one mission. You're a driving mission, which I'm never good at.
Right? Okay. This is
not especially the driving. I'm good at like Need for Speed and like dedicated racing games or driving games, but I always found the driving in Call of Duty is a bit just all over the place.
Yeah, fair enough. I get that.
But yeah, so then I've started. Well, I'm Prestige 1 now online. I've been on a bit of a grind lately just because I got bugger all else to do.
Yeah,
and I've been playing a lot with my friend Matt. We were doing Warzone for the first time. The first time I've played Warzone 2.
Oh, nice. How are you finding it? Because you loved Warzone 1.
Yeah. It's good. I'm not, though.
Well, there are people that do nothing but play that game. So, like, it is very difficult in some of the competitive games. You just need to accept that some kids just have nothing better to do than play all day and all night. So,
well, like just online in like just the normal matches.
Yeah,
I'm like top half of the leaderboard most of the time.
Well, that's fine, right?
Yeah, no, it's I'm happy with it, especially because I'm actually getting to terms with FPS games on keyboard and mouse now.
You cannot use that excuse forever.
No, that's why I'm saying I'm actually getting good now.
No, that's good. You've had that for a couple of years, but it's like, come on, man. You're getting there now.
That's because I didn't really play FPS games because they didn't really have any.
No.
The only time I have to look down at the keyboard now is to every now and then see where the crouch button is because if I try and do it without looking, I end up like pressing other things.
Right. Why don't you move the crouch key to something else?
Because it's on C, and that's just quite handy.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't using it as an excuse. I was saying I'm getting good now. So I'm like top half of the leaderboard, and the only time I need to look at the keyboard now is just
To crouch.
every now and then to see where like crouch or shift is or something like that.
Fair enough. That'll come.
Yeah, but Warzone, I think it's just the amount of people, and you've got to go like scavenge for weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's people that have played it and know the map inside out. I got a few kills, but we're always like eliminated pretty soon.
Right. Yeah. Well, good fun
It's
though.
fun though. Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah. No, good. Good stuff. Well, over Christmas, I decided, Christmas gift to myself. I don't very often go in for early access games because they're shite a lot of the time. Not always. But I am a huge Baldur's Gate fan, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Gonna grab Baldur's Gate 3, which is technically in early access, but it's coming out this year, so it's like, it's mostly there now. And it is without doubt probably the best RPG I have played in at least a decade. It is fucking
nice.
Amazing. They have done it's the same people that made Divinity, and I've not played those games. I hear really good things about them. The storytelling, the cinematic nature of this game, it lives up, because Baldur's Gate 2 for many people is like the best RPG ever made. So it had a mountain to climb being the sequel to Baldur's Gate 2. And from what I've played of this game so far, it absolutely lives up to the Baldur's Gate name. It does Dungeons & Dragons massive service. They've clearly read the books. I mean, I was playing as a paladin, and they have like Oathbreaker and stuff if you break paladin code and things. Like, they've really thought into this. The story's really cool so far. I've only put about 30 or so hours in, so I'm early game, act 1 or 2, act 2 I think now. And I don't want to go too much farther because I know a friend of mine wants to get it when it's released, so we'll end up playing it together. But absolutely stunning game.
I just googled, because I don't think I've ever heard of Baldur's Gate. So
it's very PC games back in the day, in the late 90s. The Baldur's Gate games were amazing.
Just have a look at some of the photos, and it looks really cool.
It's amazing. It's obviously, as Baldur's Gate is, it's party based and isometric, but you can zoom in, and the game zooms right in when you do cinematics, and because the graphics are just so good, it looks stunning. When you're talking to characters, the game zooms completely in, and it's so cinematic. And it's, so far it feels very much like all the choices matter, all the decisions matter. Multiple ways to go about dealing with any situation. It's absolutely awesome. I couldn't be happier with what they've done so far. I just hope that it doesn't shit the bed later in the game, but I guess we'll see. We'll see when we get closer to release and my friend picks it up as well, because I think we're going to
you don't normally get games at like full price, do you?
Very rare. It's very, very rare. The last one I did, I think, was MechWarrior 5, which has definitely got my money's worth now. Trying to think if there was another one. I don't think so. I think MechWarrior 5 was the last time I did that, so 2019-ish. But this one, I was like, do you know what? I'm such a fan of the original games, and it's been in early access for like 2 years, and I've been wanting to pick it up the whole time. So I was like, I'm just Christmas present to myself.
Yeah, why not?
So yeah. Anyway, pick another game.
Well, I came across Warhammer 40k Mechanicus.
Yes, free on Epic, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was Epic. I like my Warhammer, so
yeah, this one looks fun. This is the basically turn-based XCOM style game, right?
Yeah, it's basically like 40k D&D, pretty much.
Is it? Okay. I thought it was like a tactics game more than a.
It is, but then you could like explore like certain areas by like clicking your unit to go there.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just reminds me of Gloomhaven because obviously I've never played XCOM. So
Okay, so it looks very XCOM to me. I'm really curious because I saw this one. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it looks really fun. Obviously, I always have like a bit of a barrier to entry with Warhammer because I really don't know the lore. I know you do though, so I'm curious what you make of it.
I know some of the lore to do with some of the factions that I've played,
Yeah,
like in person. I don't know all of the lore. I don't think anyone.
no, but no, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's so expansive now, but like the setting a lot better than I do, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I went more in terms of the tabletop wargaming, I went BattleTech rather than Warhammer. So I've never really I've played Warhammer video games and I used to paint some of the miniatures, but I've never actually played the tabletop game ever. So and I haven't read any of the books, so I'm not up to snuff. But how are you finding it?
No, sorry. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, I call it kind of like a D&D because you do take it in turns to like move your
it's
character.
turn-based, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm like 4 or 5 missions in. And
Nice.
there is a lot of like text to read about like the story and why you're going to a certain planet and stuff like that, which I quite enjoy.
I like the fluff material. I think that's key to a game for me. I get very bored if there's no reason for me doing things, if it's just like go here, kill people. It's like, why? I'd like a bit of story to go along with it and a little bit of context. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, it is I would definitely take it a go because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's it's Warhammer. I like Warhammer.
Yeah.
They've just released a new Warhammer game, haven't they?
They have released like a million war. It feels like last year or the last couple of years. There's been so many Warhammer games all coming out around the same time. So yeah, there are quite a few.
Yeah,
because there's like a Civilization style one as well, right?
There might be, but yeah, the new one that came out, Darktide, is like a.
Oh yeah, the Darktide's the sequel to the medieval one, isn't it? But they've just put it in the modern, the 40K universe, basically. Vermintide is a sequel to Vermintide, but they've just put it in like 40K instead of Warhammer, right?
Yeah, it looks really good though.
Yeah, I've heard great things. If you like, I think those kind of games are like, if you like Left 4 Dead, you'll like those games. But yeah, it looks solid. It looks really good.
Yeah, no, I did have. I think I did have Vermintide 2 on PS4, but I could never actually play it properly.
Right.
Because I back then I had a like really odd sized. It was like
your TV problem. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and nothing had ever fit the like resolution. It'd be either too small or like I'll be missing half the screen.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But
no, fair enough. But you're enjoying the new Warhammer that looks. Looks
yeah,
good. It's on my list because, like I said, I grabbed it when it was for on Epic, but I haven't had a chance to play yet. So I'm excited to give it a go.
Yeah, no, I always keep forgetting to check Epic for the games.
Oh, I check every week, and then up to Christmas, it's like I check every day because they release stuff daily in that run up to Christmas, New Year. So I'm forever checking on Epic. I pretty much sign in. Probably every day I sign into Epic just to see if there's anything free, and then just sign out again. But yeah, I'm always hot on the Epic thing.
I'm thinking. Yeah, there's not actually many games I play on Epic.
No, my library on Epic is ludicrously big because I keep picking up all of the free ones, but I have played very few of them. I mean, obviously, MechWarrior 5 was an Epic exclusive, so my copy of MechWarrior 5 is on Epic, so I go there a lot to play that. But that's about it. But
what else have you been playing then?
Well, I'll do 2 at once because they're kind of the same. I dived back in to Resident Evil 2 over Christmas because I fancied some horror. I never really got out of the horror thing. October happened and it was all Halloween and we were like, oh, horror games. And I never quite got out of it. I was like, I just gonna keep playing horror games. So I dived back into Resident Evil 2, played it through, completed it, and then I was like, do you know what? I love Resident Evil 2 Remake. I think it's one of the best remakes maybe ever. They did a fantastic job. But I never picked up Resident Evil 3. Never picked up the remake for Resident Evil 3, and I was like, do you know what? Now I've played through Resident Evil 2, both campaigns again. I'm gonna pick up Resident Evil 3 and give it a go, because I'd heard some negatives. I heard a lot more negative about Resident Evil 2 than 3, 3 than 2, because pretty much everyone I know loved 2. They didn't. There were some fans that hated 3, and now I've played it through to completion. I can see why. But I love Resident Evil 3 Remake. I think it's a really solid remake. I think most of the issues with it comes from the fact that they've cut a lot of content that's in the original Resident Evil 3 out of this game.
All right.
But it doesn't really... I guess because I still play the old games, I still play Resident Evil 3, I can play it when I want to. I've still got my PlayStation. It doesn't bother me so much, and I think what they've done here is they've really tightened the story, and they've changed a bunch of the mechanics. So now, in Resident Evil 3, originally, Nemesis could turn up at certain points, or like seemingly at random. I don't think it was at random, but it was much more random than it is here. Whereas here it's scripted, so he only turns up at certain points in the game. But when he does turn up, it is really tense. It's some of the most tense action I've had in a game in a long time. And I think they've done a really good job. They've tightened the story. It's a lot. It feels like a constant chase. It feels like you're just constantly on the move in Resident Evil 3. And I think they did a better job with Carlos here. He's like a more rounded character, and I kind of grew to like him a lot more than I did in the original Resident Evil 3. So I think they've done a good job. I know that I believe originally, they planned to release Resident Evil 2 Remake and 3 Remake as one game, which is why I think Resident Evil 3 is a lot more stripped down. You can get through the game in, less than probably 10 hours easily.
I haven't played, I played the first remake when it came out on PS4.
I love the first remake. They did a really good job with that.
I think that's like the only Resident Evil game I've actually played. I think I may have played Biohazard. No, Resident Evil 6. I think there's the one set in like the Middle East or whatever.
5.
Okay.
In Africa,
I was just looking on Steam,
the African country.
Yeah,
the one that's kind of racially offensive.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. I'm not a big fan of that one.
Sale.
Sorry?
I was just looking on Steam. They're all on sale, like 75% off.
Oh, nice. Well, 2 and 3 remakes, they've got the over-the-shoulder camera rather than the fixed camera angles and stuff. So it's a departure from what it used to be, obviously, with the originals. But they've done a fantastic job with them. I mean, Resident Evil 2 Remake is just an amazing remake. And 3, honestly, I had a blast. I can see why people don't like parts of 3 Remake, but I had a really good time with it, and I thought some of the action scenes were really, really tense. And you've still got that survival horror aspect, not as much as in 2, but fantastic job. So yeah, Resident Evil 2 and 3 took up most of my Christmas. Along
like a good time.
Yeah. What else have you got to talk about?
I can't remember if I talked about this last time, but on like the horror theme, did I talk about that demo, Anthology of Fear?
You did.
Oh, have you got round to giving it a go?
No, I haven't. I was just thinking, it's funny, as soon as we started the show, I was like, oh, I just remembered we were gonna I was gonna play that game, and I'd forgotten from the moment you told me on the last episode until now, and I've just realized that I need to play it. So I will look to install it after this show immediately so that I remember to play it.
Yeah. Also, I guess it's still keeping on the horror film. I've in anticipation for the remake of Dead Space, I've been playing through that again.
Well, I still think that Dead Space holds up remarkably well.
Oh, it does.
So I'm curious about this remake, because I'm like, it's a pretty good game and it still holds up today anyway. I kind of feel like with remakes, like Resident Evil 2. I love Resident Evil 2 original. I'll still play it. but it is very old. It's very much of its time. It's that 90s feel of fixed camera survival horror. I can see why the remake exists. With Dead Space remake, I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, like you, I can go back to Dead Space 2008, right? And I'm like, it's still really solid. Still really like it. What are you going to bring with this new one, guys?
Yeah, no, but it'd be interesting to see.
Oh, I'm so super interested.
Yeah, 2008. Yeah, you were right. So I just loaded up Steam to what year did that come out? So I remember having it on PS3, I think.
Yeah, it's PS3 era.
But yeah, no, the jump scares still hold up. Yeah, the graphics it's not bad at all.
It's not bad for its age. It looks pretty good.
It's a bit buggy at times, but
right.
Like sometimes my gun will just disappear out my hands, and then like I could still fire, but I'm just like I don't know where I'm fucking aiming.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it just might update or something. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that.
It's a really solid game, and I think it helps that it's got a really solid story. Is pretty well put together.
Yeah, it's not too short like some games are, but it's not like overly long where you get bored. It's just
and I think it balances the survival horror and action quite well as well. Like it's not too much of either. It kind of it runs the line quite nicely, and we're both big fans of Event Horizon, so it's like okay, it's Event Horizon the game. That's fine.
I was actually watching that a few days ago.
Oh, it's a great movie. Love Event Horizon. Underrated. Or maybe not anymore, because everyone says it's underrated. I feel like everyone talks about it now. So maybe it's finally got the love it deserves. But great film. Yeah, and they were clearly inspired by that for Dead Space. And
oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like Event Horizon meets The Thing in space. That is great.
I have been meaning to pick up Doom 3 again. It's on my desktop. It's been installed, and every time I look at it, I'm just sort of I can't be asked right now.
Yeah, it's a great game. I don't think it's a particularly good Doom game because it kind of goes against what Doom was and tries to go the survival horror route. But as a game, it's great. I love Doom 3. Really good fun.
Yeah, it's just lately my attention span hasn't been great, so I just look at a game to play and just sort of I'll play like a Bejeweled.
But that's fine, right? Because every now and again you don't want anything too complicated. You just want to play a little bit of, And on that note, actually, a game I went back to recently. Now, as a kid, I absolutely loved and still love Elite. On the Commodore 64, I still own it on the Commodore 64. One of the best space games, Sims 4X games ever made. And Elite Dangerous, I never really got into, and I think I was saying to a friend about it the other day. I was like, I bought Elite Dangerous when it came out. I was excited. I started playing it, and I was like, there's just something. Sometimes games just don't click. They just don't click for you. You're like, it's not that it's terrible. It's just that for some reason, I'm just not feeling it. And with those kind of games, I always leave them there in the background, and I go back to them every year or so to be like, maybe now. And I think a lot of it is I don't like. As a kid, I used to have all the time in the world, no social life. All I did was play games, and that was perfect for me. So I used to love doing games, even if it was really grindy. These days, I fucking hate grinding games. Generally, it annoys the shit out of me, and I get bored very quickly. I feel like I'm wasting my time after a while. I'm like, why am I wasting my time? And I'll go and do something else. And that was kind of the problem with Elite Dangerous, because it, much like Elite, it's very grindy, and things take a long time. Even space travel and going from one place to another takes a long time. It's all very much based in, it's set in the future, but it's very much based in like physics and reality as best it can be. So it's not like you're just pressing a button and going somewhere. There are things to consider, and it takes time to navigate and do stuff. And I think it's kind of proven by the fact that the clock in your ship is the actual time in real life. Like, that's the actual time. It's not like the universe time is not sped up or anything. It's like, no, it's real time. If I started playing Elite Dangerous now, the time in my ship would say 3:36 p.m. because it literally is real time. But weird thing, some reason recently it just clicked with me, and I think I just fell into this loop where I get up really early in the morning. I'm a morning person. And I got into this loop where I'd make a coffee and I'd just play Elite Dangerous for like an hour, 2 hours before work. And all I was doing was just kind of brain dead, like picking up stuff from one station, taking it to the other station. And that's all I was doing. I was very rarely engaging in combat. I just literally was just taking in the sights of space and just couriering messages or taking freight from one station to another station, and I just kept doing it, and I just kind of found myself really enjoying just...
He basically became an intergalactic postman.
Well, I mean, that is a lot of Elite, to be fair. He's like trading and mining and stocks, because certain stations will buy things at higher prices than other stations, so you can buy cheap, sell high, that kind of stuff. But there's something really beautiful, like, because the graphics are so good in the modern Elite game. It's just a gorgeous universe. It's gorgeous to look at, and there's something about just like going from one place to another, setting on the autopilot and just having a cup of coffee and just letting the world go by. And this morning, in preparation for this, I was like, I'll talk about Elite Dangerous because I finally found my groove with the game. And I went to a station, and I've been doing this for so goddamn long now. I went to a station, and I was like, I wonder if I can afford a ship now, like a better ship, because I've just got the starting ship, and I've just been like doing, you've only got like 4 units of space in the cargo hold and whatever. I could afford any ship that was currently allowed at my rank because I just made so much money without really paying any attention. I'd just been going from station to station delivering stuff. I could literally afford any ship I wanted, so I ended up buying like a super cool ship this morning. So now I probably can get into combat and do other stuff. But yeah, it's weird. I don't very often fall for these grindy things, but there's something about it. It feels like, to explain it, I would say, like those truck simulator games that people play?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the space equivalent of that, where but obviously you can get into combat. You can fight pirates, and, the combat's really tense if you get into that. But it's all very much like a simulator. Like, you have to do certain things in a certain way to get places. It's not terribly straightforward to begin with as a new person getting into the game. But yeah, something really weird about it. I just fell into like this real zen thing where I was just like, it's fine, I'll just go from station to station, just delivering stuff. That's all I'm doing.
See, I'm actually really surprised because I've never actually played one of those like online space games.
I am playing it solo, by the way, because I'm an antisocial prick.
Yeah, but no, it's just very surprising for me because I love like sci-fi and like space and that. I always see the adverts for them like on YouTube, like Eve, or there was
Eve's very in depth. That's a super in depth game.
Yeah, there's like Eve, and there was another one I saw an advert for that I can't remember the name for.
X4 is really good.
Yeah.
But that's super in depth as well, and kind of obtuse. I would say Elite Dangerous is very good at introducing the player. If you go through the tutorials and stuff, you can pick up what's going on. But it is very grindy. Like, you kind of just have to work for a while before you can do anything really.
Yeah, I don't really mind that though, because sort of
you're way better with grindy stuff than I am, so I think it would be right up your street actually.
Yeah, well, like Elder Scrolls Online and MapleStory and stuff, just RuneScape, that's super grindy. Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really think Elden Ring of a grind.
Oh, I did.
Because obviously when I completed it the first time and then I went back to do it differently, play a different style, I think I'm on like 4th or 5th playthrough.
I think it's a good game. I don't think it's bad, but to me it was very grindy. But it's good. It's good grindy.
Yeah.
But...
I don't know. I don't see it as a grind because I think I'm enjoying it too much to see it as a grind.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get back into it, but my Xbox
I think the
controller
trouble
died.
with me with Elden Ring is there's a distinct lack of story that ends up making it feel very grindy to me. Like there is story, but it's kind of inconsequential. So I'm kind of just like, just go here, kill things, go there, kill thing, go there, kill thing, go there, kill thing. It's like, okay, I get it.
Well, it's a
It's not
Souls
very
game.
pretty. Sorry. Well, no, I know exactly. It's very good at what it is, but it is what it is. And to me, it's kind of grindy. But I like it though. It's good fun. But yeah, like you like the grind, so I would have thought like a game like Elite Dangerous would probably work for you.
Yeah, I just looked it up on Steam. It's only a $5.
Nice. You probably do need a flight stick of some kind, or actually probably you could probably do it with a gamepad and a keyboard. You'd probably be fine.
Fair enough. I mean, like, that's why I haven't been playing Elden Ring lately, because I tried it on keyboard and mouse, and it's just too fucking complicated.
Elden Ring?
Yeah.
It's fucking awful on keyboard and mouse, because that's how I started playing it, and I was like, this is fucking terrible. And then I plugged in my Xbox controller, and I was like, oh, actually, it's fine. It's not made for keyboard and mouse at all. Yeah.
Well, my Xbox controller died, so...
Oh, no. Oh, that sucks.
It was only like a cheap, like 10 quid one off Amazon. So.
Have you still got your PS4 controller?
I do, yeah, I think.
You should be able to get that working. If you look it up online, there people will tell you how to do it. But
oh yeah, I do have one. But then I'm going to be even more confused because now I'm used to all the prompts being for the Xbox.
It should. It might swap over.
I don't think it did the last time I plugged it in.
Oh, okay. But either way, it'll be better than keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna wait until I can afford to get like another cheap one.
Yeah, get an Xbox 360 controller. That's what I've been using ever since the Xbox 360. That's my go-to controller for PC games if I need a controller.
Do you use it like Bluetooth or plug it in?
I've got a wired one. I just plug it in. You could do Bluetooth though; it works.
I know I don't have Bluetooth on my computer.
I just prefer wired, to be honest.
Yeah, no, so do I. I was because I've got like
to be honest, I have wired keyboard, wired mouse. I always forget to charge things, and I just can't be arsed with having to charge things. I just want to plug something in and know that it's going to work. There's nothing worse than like I'm going to play a game. I did this all the time on the PS3. So I'm going to play a game, and then you're like, oh yeah, the controller's dead. I got and then you're like, well then it's plugged in all the time anyway. So now I'm like, I might as well just have a wired mouse, wired controller because it's a waste of time.
The only time I'll use something wireless is like when I'm listening to music on my phone with my headphones. I have Bluetooth headphones.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah.
Just because like I keep pulling wires out by accident.
Yeah, that's always annoying. The old pulling the wire out, but
yeah, I don't really like wireless mouse or keyboards. I had one when I was using my my old piece of crap Mac, and every time I turn it on, it wouldn't register the keyboard and mouse. So I had to unplug them and plug them the little receiver thing back in. Then they'd work. So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna get a wired thing, so I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. But yeah, man, have you played anything else? Been up to anything else?
I think I have. Off the top of my head, I've forgotten about it now. Call of Duty, Dead Space, Warhammer. No, I think that's all I've been playing actually. Well, I'll play an Age of Empires, but we've gone over that like thousands of times.
Yeah. No,
I think that's all I've been playing lately, to be fair.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. It's nice to start the year talking about games, and obviously, I'm sure a lot of games will turn up this year that we'll end up playing and covering on the show. Dead Space is like just around the corner, right? That's out like this week, next week. It's pretty soon. Not that I'm going to pick it up new, but it's out soon. I know that much because I'm sure I saw a trailer for it the other day, and it was like this week, I think.
I think it might already be out.
Oh, maybe it was today. Actually, I'm not sure.
I'm just having a look.
It may well be.
No, 27th of January it releases
next week.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. But yeah, and I'm sure we'll.
I won't be picking it up.
No, I pick it up new anyway. Wait, it'll be on sale at some point.
Oh, I was more thinking the fact that I'm just fucking poor.
Well, and also you're playing through Dead Space 1, so
yeah. I'm actually going to have a look at it when they still don't have a time for this.
For what?
Looking for Skull and Bones.
Forget it. It's fucking, like, if it ever fucking comes out, they've delayed it again. Like, Ubisoft is such a shit show now. Like, honestly, I really question whether that game's going to be any good if it ever comes out at this stage. Like, they've just... It just seems like a fucking disaster. Like, I've lost all faith in that game fucking releasing in any good state. We'll wait and see. I hope so. But I want it to be good, but good lord.
So do I. So badly.
Apparently
it's coming out anywhere from this year to next year. That's helpful.
Yeah. Wasn't it meant to be coming out in, like, 2017? Like, I mean,
yes.
Like, guys, just, like... give up. I know Ubisoft have ditched a load of games lately. Like, they've just cancelled a bunch of stuff they were working on because they've just said, like, yeah, it's just not working. But I believe Skull and Bones, they are, like, in deep with some investors. Like, they have to eventually produce this game, so it will come out eventually. But I don't know, man. I was so hyped for that game when it first came out and when it was first announced, and now I'm just like, there's like games get delayed and you're like, it's cool, they'll delay it and it'll be good. And then there comes a point where you're like, is this just a disaster? No. Because it's taking way... Like, now you're at the point where you're like, have you just started again or something? Like, what's going on?
Well, apparently...
Because it was meant to be coming out, like, November of last year, and now they've delayed it by years, by the sound of it. Like, potentially. Like
March 9th this year, apparently, but I don't think that's going to happen.
That's very soon. I mean, fair play if they do.
It's been in development since 2013.
13? Jesus Christ.
But it was only revealed in 2017.
That's right, because I remember it being revealed and being like, oh, that'll be fun next year.
Yeah.
Now it's 2023.
Imagine me, who's a very, very big pirate lover, when I seen that and devastated every single time it's got delayed.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked cool. That new trailer they did last year, I was like, it does look cool. I hope it lives up to it. It just, come on, Ubisoft, what are you doing? Give us a new Ghost Recon and, make it good, and give us Skull and Bones and make it good.
I'm gonna get it regardless.
Oh no, of course, dude, it's your thing, and I want it to be good. I really hope it's good.
Wait until I've got it, and I'll let you know if it's worth it.
Yeah, well, that's what this show's for. You can tell us.
Oh, have you seen the? I think.
Plus, you'll probably stream it, so I could just watch you play it. It's fine.
Yes, it came out last year apparently, but I've only just heard about it. The Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, the reviews were not great.
Oh, were they not?
No, I was very excited. I was more excited for that than I was Dead Space Remake, because, it's by the original developers of Dead Space. And it looked, it was original. It wasn't just another remake. And so I was more excited for that than I was Dead Space Remake. But the reviews I heard at the time were not great. So I kind of thought I'll just get it when it's super cheap, I think. But yeah. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it looks fantastic, but...
Yeah, well, I only discovered it recently, because I normally skip YouTube adverts if I can.
Yeah.
Because that's what I spend my day doing, just watching shit on YouTube. But this came up, and I saw the skip button, and I don't know, something about it caught my eye, and I was like...
That's very rare, isn't it, with YouTube ads when you don't skip?
Yeah.
I always love the ones now that are really patronizing and they're like, why don't you just press skip? I'm like, I will. Like, you're not going to reverse psychology me into watching your shit advert. I will skip it, whatever you say before the skip thing happens.
Yeah, but something about it, I think it was like sort of...
Just looked cool.
Well, clearly it was like abandoned space station. And I was like, oh, a space game. I'll have a look
it's
at
the
this.
Dead Space remake. Oh, no, it's not. It's just a game that looks exactly like it.
Might get it. I don't know.
Dude, I'm definitely going to pick it up. I'm just going to wait for it to be cheap. That was my
it only released December last year.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I just saw it's 2022, so I thought, have I missed it because it was out for ages?
No, it was towards the end of last year. But Yeah, yeah, the reviews weren't great. I mean, they're not terrible, but just not like it wasn't like a day one purchase, that's for sure.
Yeah, but then again, I'm sure there's games that we both love that have got shit reviews.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's like I think about, well, MechWarrior 5 didn't get great reviews at the time. It's loved now, but when it came out, shit show. Same with Cyberpunk. Fantastic game now, terrible at launch, and terrible for a good year or so after launch. So with a lot of these games, I sometimes think you're better off just waiting, because you'll get it cheap and it'll probably work better when you pick it up. You know, it'll actually work then, because they kind of iron out all the problems, right?
Yeah, so I've somehow managed to, because I was looking up the Callisto Protocol, I've managed to get on the just like the new and upcoming games.
Oh yeah,
and there's one called Starfield that looks pretty good.
yes, by Bethesda. It's the new Bethesda game, Elder Scrolls Fallout in space. That's what it is. Looks good.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is it out or
no? That's their next big game though. They have they have a reasonably small team, I think, Bethesda. So they do a game at a time primarily. So they have a rotation, and I think people were pissed off with Starfield initially because obviously they wanted more Skyrim or more Elder Scrolls or more Fallout games, and they were like, no, we're going to do Starfield instead, and everyone's like, oh, we don't want your stupid space game. But now obviously we've seen the trailers and we're like, actually, we do want your stupid space game because it looks quite fun.
What I always find with Bethesda games is the world's amazing, all the storylines are amazing. You just got to accept the bugs. Yep. Yeah, you just got to accept the bugs.
That's where the modding community comes in, I think, with a lot of those things. And again, it's another reason why spending like however much it is now, like probably 50, 60 quid for a brand new game, it's never worth it. Unless you're like super desperate to play it, just wait. It'll be cheaper and it'll hopefully be fixed.
See, like the last full price game that I bought would have been Elden Ring.
Yeah. And again, those are the kind of games where it's like something like MechWarrior 5. I have been a diehard BattleTech fan and MechWarrior fan in terms of the video games, like my whole life. So 100% that was a day one buy for me. It's very rare though, super rare that I do that.
Yeah, I think I buy more games sooner than like you do because you wait. But I just get really impatient. Like I want to play it.
It depends on the game. I mean, some games I'll pay more. It's just very rare that I'll do the full price thing. I usually wait, but it is.
Yeah, I'm actually looking through my Steam library, and there's the most modern game in there is Elden Ring.
Yeah, that will almost certainly be the case for me as well, actually. Well, I guess Baldur's Gate 3 is technically not out yet, so I guess that's more modern. But it's in early access, so But yeah, between the two of them, those are the modern ones. But yeah, good stuff, man. Well, 2023 is off to a good start for games, and I guess we'll have to get back in the groove of doing these every couple of weeks, and see what happens, see what the year brings us for video games,
and see if they actually do release Skull and Bones, because I think I might actually buy some champagne if they do.
Surely you should buy some rum.
Yeah, true. That's better.
If they do. Or buy some rum if they don't, out of depression for the fact that this is just not coming out. I can't believe how delayed that game's been, but never mind. Let's hope. Let's be hopeful. The trailer looked cool.
6 years it's been delayed.
Sorry?
It's been delayed 6 years.
Yeah. It's so weird though, isn't it? Because it's like you've gone from like we're releasing it this November to like we're releasing it maybe in 2024. It's like, dude, like, it's like, all right, so you said like, oh, maybe between March this year and sometime the year after, and it's like, whoa, how, at what point you had like a date where you were like November? It's like quite specific to then just suddenly be like, oh no, actually we've gone from like, oh, it'll be out next month to being like, actually, it won't be out for years. It's like, what happened? It's like when buses are like due in a minute and then they just disappear. And you're like, how did that? What? Where was it? It was like a minute away. How far could it be? It's like, you've got a date. November. Weird.
Well, the date they have set is March 9th this year.
All right, let's do, what day does that land
on?
That's a Thursday. We will do an episode of the Icons of Sin Thursday night, the 9th of March. And if we don't do one, it'll be because Skull and Bones comes out. But I'm willing to bet we do an episode because it won't have come out.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, it'll be fun either way. But yes, anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back in a couple of weeks with some more video game goodness. But until then, stay safe, take care, and we will catch you next time.
And have a good New Year's, guys.
Yes, Happy New Year.